All right, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 93. We got no Big Earn here today, but we got the Wanderer to my left. Say hello.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
There we go. And now we're off to, it's officially Super Bowl week, not weekend.
Yes.
We're not quite there yet, but there is a lot going on, right, this week. Should we start with the Super Bowl or should we start with the other sports first? What are we thinking today? Because there's a lot going on.
I guess we could start with the Super Bowl, right? I mean, it's kind of the big game, you know?
So, first off, where are you spending your Super Bowl?
I'm not sure.
Well, you're always welcome at Fallon's, pal, if you want to come by to Fallon's.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure because I actually just started going back to the gym today.
Okay. Nice.
So I might just stay home and go to bed early to be up for the gym.
Oh my God. On Super Bowl Sunday? You're killing me. You're not going to watch the whole Super Bowl?
We'll see, maybe.
All right. You got to watch this. I mean, even though it's probably going to be a pretty boring Super Bowl.
I don't know. I think it has potential to be a good game. No?
I think it's going to be a good game, but, I don't, you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see these teams have no defense at all, and it's just a lot of offense.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
You know?
Two good defenses could lead to...
Like a boring game,
Right.
3 and out here and there.
Right.
You know, someone's got a couple field goals, a touchdown or two, and all of a sudden you're looking at a 21-17 game, which it wouldn't be the worst Super Bowl, right? Because we've had some bad ones in the past that are probably even worse. But, I mean, they're picking it to be a close game. Kansas City's giving 1.5. The over-under is kind of a little high, 48.5, so that's promising.
Well, I guess, offense seems to be, encouraged, I guess, in the NFL. So I guess they're thinking that there's going to be some points.
So, for all the big names that are in this Super Bowl, we don't have to go down the list, but I have a particular guy in mind that I think could potentially have a big Super Bowl and help there to win the Super Bowl this year. For me, I think it's Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Only because he's kind of due. He hasn't had a great postseason overall. Right. I know he had one good game. I forget. I guess it was the Houston game where he had a lot of catches. Mm-hmm. But then he really didn't show up against the Bills. So
he didn't have a lot of targets either, right?
No, I think he had 2, maybe 3. And he didn't have a single target in the first half, I don't think, either. Mm. So for me, I'm looking at him to have a big game. I also know that Philly defense is kind of weak against tight ends, so that bodes well for him as well. It's just whether or not Patrick Mahomes is going to be running around all game and being able to sit back and actually find his targets, right?
Right.
So that would be my one key guy right now that I'd be all in on, and I will place some bets on him, maybe just all by himself. Definitely add him in some parlay action for Sunday. But yeah, do you have anyone in mind that you're looking that might stand out on either team?
Well, I mean, I guess Barkley for the Eagles, he's been, consistent all year. Big part of their offense. Yeah, I mean, I think that he would keep it going this week. Yeah, I guess that's not really much of a secret.
Right.
That they're going to rely on him.
So,
heavily.
fun fact with the Chiefs' defense is, I think it's 25 straight games that they held running backs under 100 yards.
Wow, that's quite a stat.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the playoffs or the last 25 games. I can't really remember that. But in all those games, when they did hold their main running back under 100, they've won. So it's interesting that you pick Saquon Barkley because you're right. He's extremely important to Philly's offensive strategies, right?
Yeah.
And if you're Jalen Hurts, you want him to get off to a great start too because when he does,
takes the pressure off.
a ton of pressure off Hurts. And I feel like Hurts is a great quarterback. He's not at least not yet, elite in my opinion, like the Lamar Jacksons and even Patrick Mahomes, even though he didn't have the greatest year, and Josh Allen and all those other guys, right? But he's right below them in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So he would need that for him to have a big game and for there to be a chance for the Eagles to win.
Right.
with that all being said, if Saquon does what he's supposed to do, I look for Hurts to have a pretty damn good game. And I would say if you're right and Barkley has a big game and they win, he'll be the MVP of the Super Bowl for sure. You know, unless he gets just a lot of yardage and no touchdowns, which I really don't see that happening. Especially if they get close to the end zone or like on the goal line and then Hurts steals his touchdowns.
Right, that's always a possibility.
Agreed. And like that would be the worst thing for Barkley because then Hurts will want to get an MVP. But if they win, I feel like Barkley would be like, if you're a betting man, I'd say Eagles win, Barkley MVP, see what the odds are, and just go for it. Doesn't have to be anything crazy depending on what your wallet situation's like. You know what I mean? Like you could bet $10, you can bet whatever you want.
Right.
But that would be a good bet. So I kind of agree with you. Like those two guys are going to stand out to me the most.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just don't want it to be a boring game. Like I really just want to enjoy it, right?
Oh yeah.
Like just enjoy the Super Bowl. Like I know it was 2 years ago where they played.
Yeah. It's a rematch, right?
Right. So like it's anyone's game.
And that one came down to the end too, right?
I believe so. I think it was a Hurts interception, as a matter of fact, which won the game. I think he made a key mistake. And it might have, I wonder what the score was. I want to say it was a high scoring game, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. We'll check. I should have probably checked it out beforehand. But nonetheless, you know, it's just a good game. Score a lot. You know, you're going to be looking at guys all over the field to make plays. They both got great defenses, both good offensive lines. Like, you know, I'm excited about it. Like, you know, would I want other people in the Super Bowl? Sure. But this is the Super Bowl. We're not going to get football for another 6 months after this. So,
all right, this is it.
Let's enjoy this Sunday and, you know, go from there. With that being said, right, so there was a lot of talk like legacies and this and that. And, you know, it's what is it, media week or whatever before the Super Bowl. So they get asked a lot of silly questions and whatever. They're asking Travis Kelce if he's retiring and, you know, if he wins and he's not really thinking about it. You got Patrick Mahomes asking if he's just as good as Tom Brady. What's Andy Reid's legacy? And to me, all the answers were, you know, textbook, you know. So there's nothing really as of yet on a Tuesday that's going on as far as with the, you know, any controversy, right? So, you know, I guess we'll see. Like, I'd like to see some more interesting questions. Like some guy asked, you know, Jalen Hurts, like, why is he so good looking? What kind of question? What are we doing, right? Like,
Yeah, that's a clown question.
Yeah, I part of me gets why you would do that because now everyone's talking about it. So like, you did what you were supposed to do. But you couldn't think of a better question than that to, like, I don't know, get some more exposure, I guess, and your name more out there. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I heard Donald Trump's going to the Super Bowl.
He'll be in attendance?
Yeah, I wonder what other celebrities are going to be at the Super Bowl this year. That's always good to see. Do you like watching the Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's, you know, definitely part of the pageantry, I guess you would say. You know, all the companies have they, you know, spend millions of dollars with, you know, new ads. So, yeah, I guess, you know, it's something to look at.
Yeah, I'm wondering what older celebrity is going to get paid a boatload of money to do a Super Bowl commercial for some other, you know, whatever company it's going to be, whether it be T-Mobile, Pepsi,
Right.
whatever, Verizon, whatever it would be. Like, because I remember last year you had Arnold's for, I think it was like State Farm. I feel like there's always one of those that come out, and, you know, I could see Danny DeVito in a Jersey Mike's commercial out of nowhere because he's been doing that for a little while now.
Doing those, right.
Right, so like I see them trying to boost up some sales and get themselves a Super Bowl spot, like a quick 30-second piece.
Yeah, I guess it's, you know, it's a chance for, you know, to see who can make something memorable where people will be talking about it, I guess, the next day.
At the very least the next day, if not a little bit longer, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I know we talked about this last week, and you guys were on the Eagles bandwagon, and I was on KC.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah, we already picked the game, I guess, right?
Yeah, we did. I guess we picked it a week earlier, but just recapping, you guys wanted to see the Eagles win because you guys are tired of Kansas City because of all the ref stuff and all this other nonsense.
No, I wouldn't say that I'm tired of Kansas City. I would just, I would like to see Hurts, win a championship. But I'm not a part of the whole Kansas City only wins because of the refs. That's not me.
Good. Because listen, even if that was me, which I could care less. Like in every sport we deal with this, it seems like nowadays, which kind of makes no sense to me because it probably wasn't even 10 years ago where no one was really complaining about it, and now all of a sudden you have replay come out of people starting to complain, and now the replay really isn't helping because people are just still complaining. Right? So how does that make any sense to me, right?
Yeah.
And then you can't replay every single play because, God, we're going to be sitting watching these games for 4 or 5 hours, right?
It's long enough already.
Right. So, like, I just throw it to just chalk it up to human error unless, like, you have a foolproof plan for every call to be right all the time.
Right.
Like, there's always going to be calls that people get upset about. And to each person's viewpoint, it could be different. Like, you could see something that I don't say, like, that wasn't so bad. Like, it's football, whatever. The guy hit him in the stomach. Who cares or whatever. And someone else will be like, oh, my God, that was egregious. Like, he would have caught the ball or whatever. So, to me, I fall on your line. Like, I'm not tired of Kansas City, but I will say this. Like, I'm looking for some history. Just like when the Patriots were undefeated, like, I was secretly rooting for them to win that Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did it work out great? Like, the Giants won, and we're in New York, so, like, we get to, like, stuff it down their throats anyway.
Right.
Like, for me, being a Jet fan, I was in a win-win situation. If the Patriots win and go undefeated, I see something that I'll probably never see again.
Right.
If the Giants won, I get to stick it to the Patriots. It was great, right?
There you go. You can't lose,
Yeah, so for this one, I could lose this time because if Philly wins, it's nothing, whatever. And, like, Philly just won not too long ago either. Like, if it was the Lions, I'd be set rooting.
Foles.
Yeah, Foles.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like, I think that was, 5 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, not too long, yeah.
It has to be around 5 years because it was Tom Brady's last Super Bowl with the Patriots that they lost, I think. Because, something like that. So either which way, it wasn't too long ago that they were in the Super Bowl and won, and then they were just there 2 years ago and lost. So, like, to me, it's like, screw Philly. Like, I really don't like Philly. I want to see Kansas City do a three-peat, and then I'm done with them. I don't care if they ever win again.
Yeah.
And I'll most likely, more often than not, root against them after this year.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's also it's kind of like hard to root against Mahomes. Like, he's great. He's a good guy. Like, I think people should appreciate what he's doing and what he's done his entire career.
Yeah. This is his sixth Super Bowl, maybe. He lost one. Then he didn't go to one because that was when Joe Burrow went to one. So he lost one. He's won 3. If he wins this one, it'll be 4. Yeah, so if he wins this one, it'll be 4 out of 5. And he's been to 7 consecutive AFC Championship games. So I guess that's why people are getting tired. He's seeing Kansas City in the AFC Championship game all the time. Like, he wants some new blood. But shame on the other teams for not beating them.
You gotta beat them.
No one was doing that with Tom Brady for the most part. Like, every once in a while, Peyton Manning would beat him.
Right.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez beat him.
Right.
All these other guys, So I don't really feel bad for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
A good team wins. That's it. Knock them off and then do what Joe Burrow did. He beat him, went to the Super Bowl and lost. What are you going to do?
Right.
And he's spent the last couple of years trying to get back there, and it hasn't been a thing for him yet. Like, he needs a defense, but that's a story for, I guess, next year after the draft or something like that. But, like I said, if they win, knock on wood, this year, they get their three-peat, we witness history, I'm off the Kansas City bandwagon, and then I'll move on to another team for the AFC as long as it's obviously not the Jets. But I don't foresee them being in the AFC Championship anytime soon.
Right.
So
You got your Kansas City colors on.
yeah, I'm rocking a little red right now.
Red Kingdom, or is that what they call it?
There's something like that. And I was there, and I don't even remember them saying it. But then again,
Something like
I was busy, eating and drinking the whole game. So
Indulging.
yes, exactly. A lot of big news. I guess not a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
One more thing on
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Did you have any? Did you come up with any player prop?
Oh
things?
yeah, 100%. So since I'm big on Kelsey, whatever his receptions are and his yardage is, I'm gonna go over on both of those.
Okay.
And how sometimes they have you pick like Kelsey for over 50 yards, is this amount, 60, whatever.
Right.
I'm gonna settle right in the 70-yard range
Okay.
and go over on that. And then whatever his receptions is, I'm gonna go over on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Xavier Worthy, maybe a touchdown, a couple of catches at least.
Okay.
He's really one of those guys that it could be a play downfield and he get a ton of yards. So I'll look at the yardage there too.
Speedster.
Yeah. What I probably won't touch is Kansas City's running backs
Okay.
because I don't know if they're gonna split. Isaiah Pacheco is still in my opinion, he's still nursing his injuries, from his knee.
Got it.
So it'll be more. If anything, I'll look at Kareem Hunt. So if his over and under on yardage is reasonable, maybe I'll take that. But if it's like 50 or 60, I might pick the under on that. I'm gonna stay away from Patrick Mahomes and his passing yards. But if they have plus 1.5 touchdowns, I'll take that. The over on that. And then on the other side of the ball, if I'm rooting for Kansas City to win, I'm going to take the under with Saquon Barkley and his rushing yards. But what I might do is team it up with the receiving yards and rushing. And depending on where that lands, I'll pick the over on that because I could see him combined getting over 100 yards of offense.
Right.
Just not rushing yards wise. I feel like Kansas City's game plan will be to shut him down and make Hurts beat them like he tried to do the last time with passing. Now, with that being said, who do you take, Devonta Smith or A.J. Brown, as far as getting the catches and all that stuff,
Right.
and even Goddard too?
Yeah.
I don't know where I would go with Goddard. I'd have to look at the numbers. I think I'm going to start doing that tomorrow. But I would take the unders for yards and receptions for Goddard, and I'd put him in the wide receivers. I feel like they're going to be a little bit more active. So I'll look at some of that. If I had to choose, I'd go with A.J. Brown with a touchdown and Devontae Smith with more yards and catches. And go with that. But yeah, what do you think? Anything you got cooking? I know you haven't really done any of that.
I you know what? I'm so far removed that I can't even guess at what the propositions.
You're probably better off that way, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you're probably better off.
Yeah. Financially, it's not a bad move.
No, it's not a bad move at all. It's probably the best move you'll make that day. Unless you, like you said, you'll stay home and go to sleep early and get to the gym early. That'll probably be your best move.
And hope that one of my boxes hit.
There you go. Speaking of boxes, are you in a bunch of them this year, or are you just in with the Paul's boxes?
I have one of my own, and then I have 1.5 with a friend.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All in the same pool?
3 different pools.
I'm assuming the ABC.
There you go.
All right, makes sense. Spread it around. You don't want it all in one.
That's it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did something similar
A
myself.
little variety.
Yeah, of course. But I'm all over the place. I got boxes at work. I got boxes over here, over there.
Yeah.
I told everyone, leave me alone. I just want envelopes. Hopefully I get at least 4 or 5 of those envelopes with some decent money in there, and I'll be a happy man.
I hope so.
So that I could go on a nice little vacation. You know what I mean?
It'd be nice.
Yes. But yeah, other than that, just looking forward to Sunday. I can't wait to get out of work on Friday and get ready for the Super Bowl. I took off Monday, so we'll be doing 4 turkeys this year. Four at Fallon's. So
Is that
it's a bit.
the most you have ever done?
It's tied for the most because before we left Brew House, we did 4 there.
Oh wow.
A couple of years ago. But the difference is when we did at Brew House, we had 2 turkeys left over.
Oh, okay.
that no one got to. So I took a lot of turkey home, which is great for the following week, you know,
Right.
because turkey's pretty healthy for you, you know.
Sure.
Last year we did
Lean bird.
yeah, of course. Last year we did 3 birds and it was all gone. So now we wanted to add a 4th. We want to make sure there was just extra.
Wow.
So we're doing 4.
Okay.
I'll be at Fallon's early, probably around noon, 12:30,
There you go.
and I'll start setting up and doing what I got to do with Local 5, and you know, we'll go from there. That's actually another good pick too. Kareem Hunt for a touchdown, because if they're close in the red zone, I can see that happening. But yeah.
Good odds too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Or rushing yards. 25-yard rush. I don't know if you'll see that on the Super Bowl. But that's Tyler's pick. He's entitled to his opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say something else about the Super Bowl too. Oh, another fun fact for you.
Yeah.
There's 15 examples. I heard this on the radio, and I just said it on the ticker on the bottom, which reminded me of if you lost to Kirk Cousins during the regular season, you lost the Super Bowl. Like those teams went to the Super Bowl and then lost.
Okay.
15 times.
So did either team lose to the Falcons?
I'm so glad you asked. Yes, the Eagles lost
No,
early
to
in the season.
Falcons? Wow.
Yeah, it was earlier in the season.
Oh boy. Okay.
And
that could be their doom.
And they lost because Saquon Barkley dropped the pass right before the end zone.
Wow.
And that was the end of the game.
Oh man.
So yeah, so that was kind of crazy. See, look, this guy's right with me. AJ Brown, under 5.5 receptions. I'm right on I didn't even research this. I'm just thinking. I was just, just spitballing over here, and it looks like I'm all right. But yeah, so pretty much that's what I got for the Super Bowl. Did you see Myles Garrett wants a trade from the Browns?
Did see that? Yeah, he wants out.
And the Browns like, nah, we're good.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I guess that'll shake out next season or in training camp and lead up to the season.
So it's weird, right? Because he wants out, and he wrote a nice letter. And I think I don't know if he put it just on social media or if it was in a newspaper.
Yeah.
But he said he loves Cleveland, all the right things, right? And he just said, but because I'm an ultimate competitor, he's like, I want to be on a team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl, because to me, my dream wasn't to get to Canton, Ohio. It was to win a Super Bowl. Right. So I can actually respect that.
He's getting up there. He's been in the league a while.
And he's 29, I think. So, he's not a spring chicken anymore, but he's also not washed up. So he knows he probably has, 3, maybe 4 more, effective years in his position, right? And then he'll start to dwindle down. And the funny thing is his contract, he's only signed for another 2 years. So it makes it difficult to trade him, because he's probably going to want an extension or to rework the contract a little bit. But man, I don't know if you're Cleveland, what you're thinking. You're not going anywhere because you don't really have a quarterback. You're almost in the same position as the Jets. You don't really have a quarterback. And, why would you hold him back? You know how much draft capital at the very least you could get if you trade him before the draft?
Right.
And someone's going to take his contract, so now you save money to allocate it elsewhere, or maybe you could get better quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a generational defensive talent, but
yeah,
get rid of him, make him happy, send him to a team I don't know, the Ravens, whoever, Patriots, not the Patriots maybe because they're not probably there yet, but the Chiefs maybe next year. I don't know, anyone that was in the playoffs this year, Washington,
right?
The Lions. These guys are stacked teams as they are. They might not need their draft picks as much.
Yeah.
So they're willing to give away maybe 2 first-rounders in the next 2 years, a number 2 or 3 or whatever you're really looking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to me, that's, that'd be important for your franchise. You're not going anywhere. Why wouldn't you do it? And then on the other side of the fence, it just came out today, I don't know if you saw, that the Rams told Cooper Kupp that they were going to trade him. They were immediately going to trade him. I think that was the exact words. Yeah, and Cooper Kupp's my guy. I was upset when I heard that. But apparently they don't want to pay the remainder of his salary. And I don't know what they're really thinking, to be honest with you. But, like, I don't think he's washed up. I think he's been hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, at wide receiver, yeah, that kind of sucks. But if you could put him on a team that's almost like ready to go, like, he'll win another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, almost like what DeAndre Hopkins was a little bit more past his prime.
Yeah.
But let's just say you put Cooper Kupp on the Bills, who desperately need a wide receiver.
Right.
That's just going to catch balls and do whatever. That'll make their team that much better.
Yeah, I could see that him being a fit there.
And then I racked my brain, like, where else would he be a fit? Now, Miami might be a good spot, even though they missed the playoffs this year by a game. Especially if they get rid of Tyreek Hill.
Right.
You could almost replace him with him, even though Tyreek is much faster and whatever, better. But to replace him with a Cooper Kupp would be good. And you look around the league, you know, you got other places. I don't know, off the top of my head. You know, Detroit is good with their wide receivers. You got maybe Green Bay could be another fit because they have a bunch of wide receivers, but they're always not healthy.
Yeah.
And they're young. So maybe having a veteran like him in there, that could help.
Yeah.
Maybe even Minnesota. I mean, they have Justin Jefferson, but to pair him with him would be good.
Right.
Especially if you keep Sam Darnold. Even the Texans. I know the Texans have a stacked wide receiver room, but two of them got badly hurt this year, so you don't know how they're going to come back from injury, right? I don't know. Am I missing people? I'm sure I am, but...
Yeah, I mean, you covered a lot of...
I think I covered a bunch of them. Anyone in the AFC? Anyone in the AFC that I'm missing? Not Kansas City. Oh, no. Well, another one would be the Bengals. If they lose T. Higgins,
Right.
you're going to have to replace him too. So you put him with Jamar Chase, that'll be good. Like a nice little duo. Yeah, that's it. I don't know why they're doing it, but I can't wait to read what they're trying to do there because I know Matthew Stafford loves the guy.
Right.
So you're taking away one of his weapons. What is he going to do? You know, unless they're just going to destroy the whole team, break it down. You know, try and get a different quarterback or just let him run his course, and then just build through the draft. Yeah, so that's what I got as far as the football stuff. The Knicks are still hanging in there.
Yeah. Did they win last night?
They did.
Nice.
Without OG.
Yeah, OG's out.
OG's been out, and apparently they got lucky on that little scare because he was supposed to his foot was supposed to be really bad, or ankle, whatever it is, and he's gonna be questionable. He's gonna be out for a little bit, but not as much as they thought he would have.
Oh, okay.
So that's good news.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw watched a little bit of the game Saturday when they lost to the Lakers.
I can't believe they lost to the Lakers.
And then the big trade after the game.
What do you think about that?
This is bizarre. I don't understand it. I feel like Dallas definitely could have got more, but
Much more.
What do I know?
I don't know. Probably more than that, GM. It came out of nowhere in the middle of the night, and everyone shares yours and mine point of view. And we don't even know as much, I'm assuming, as a lot of other people with the basketball stuff, but they just traded their, basically their franchise player
Pretty much.
to the Lakers for basically a first-round pick. Just one.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis is a very good player, but it seems like he's always hurt.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. You're right. He is a very good player when he's healthy.
Right.
And the funny thing is, Luka is also hurt right now, but he's been in the league a little while now. This is his first major kind of injury where he's been out. I think he's been out for a month, since December, middle of December, so a little bit more than a month. And for the Lakers to get him, and only give up a first-round pick and get some guys back. And they gave up a couple guys. It was a 3-team trade. I don't know any of the guys that besides AD that was involved really. But the fact of the matter is, you just traded away your franchise player for next to nothing.
Right.
And LA. I've been hearing LA all the time, especially with the Dodgers signing everybody. Now they got this 1-2 punch, which might not get them really anywhere, but it could, because Luka basically put the Mavericks on his back and got them to the finals.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you never really know how that's going to work out when he comes back. And from everything that I've been reading, the poor guy had no idea it was coming. And a week before, he bought a $15 million house in Dallas.
Wow. Yeah, well, that tells you he really didn't know.
Right. And he had no clue. And for the way he took it is great. Like, I haven't seen his interview yet with the Lakers when he went over there, but supposedly he's ready to go and everything like that. Like, now he's probably got to sell his house that he literally just closed on a week earlier. Like, I don't even know how that works. Like, does he have to keep it for a little while like a normal person would? Or can he just resell it or something like that? Or, I don't know, like, get out of it? I don't know. Like, I feel bad for the guy a little bit. I don't even know the guy from a hole in the wall, but, I don't know if he was, like, a pain in the butt, like, behind the scenes. They said they didn't really like his training regimen. Like, he was getting half, like, a little fat and everything, a little pudgy. So, I don't know if that had something to do with it, but, like, I mean, it's basketball, dude. Like, if he's still scoring 40 points a game,
right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
No really baseball news that I care to talk about. It's the same old stuff. Alonso's still not signed, which makes no sense to me.
Crazy.
I'll be honest with you. At this point, if I were the Yankees, I would just offer him $30 million for a year and just be like, we'll figure something out with you. I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll figure something out. Because it really seems like the Mets have no interest in bending any kind of a knee to him.
Seems that way, yeah.
And, like, appease him in any way, because I think Pete Alonso's wife didn't want to go to Toronto, so now Toronto's out of the mix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that. And the Angels haven't been involved in a while, so, like, he's really...
Yeah, I was going to ask whatever happened with that Toronto offer.
No, I don't think it ever came, because somehow it got leaked out or whatever that his wife really doesn't want to go to Toronto. And with all this tariff stuff going on, it's even worse. Like, he's going to make less money with Toronto. So I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't wait for him to just be signed so we can see where he's going. I don't know who handled this worse. A lot of people are going to say Alonso. And I get it to a certain extent, but, like, the guy wasn't a bad player at all for you. If you just want to go for, what's his name, Vlad Guerrero, and just tell him, like, we're going to go with Vlad Guerrero next year. So we gave you the offer a year ago, a 5-year deal for $170, what it was, or something like that, and you didn't take it. Then we give you a 3-year. You didn't take that either. Like, what else do you want us to do now, bro? Like, come on now. Like, if you want to be a Met, you would have been a Met a year and a half ago, which is some people's takes on it. Like, and they use the Aaron Judge thing as an example. Aaron Judge wanted to be a Yankee, but he felt like the Yankees lowballed him before the season when he was going to be a free agent. So he said no, which rightfully so. You could bet on yourself, and he did. Right. And he struck gold.
Yeah, he had a little more leverage, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, after the fact, he had a lot more leverage, but in essence, they did the same exact thing. They both bet on themselves. The only difference is Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs, and Pete Alonso hit 34. Right. Which is by no means not a bad year at all. No. But he was down in every major offensive category. Right. And he's not hitting for average at all. So he did the exact opposite of Judge. So, and then when it came time to sign Judge, the Yankees finally ponied up money. At the very least, I think it was the Padres that offered him $415 million to come to San Diego. And he refused and took less money to go with the Yankees, which shows that he always wanted to be a Yankee. And he played the game the right way, got his money, and came back to New York. Water under the bridge for what we know, and that's it. Yeah. With Alonso, this thing is all over the place, and I really don't know what the hell's going on. He has no leverage at all. So at this point, what are you going to do? Like, someone could now lowball you. The closer it gets to spring training,
It's going to go down.
yeah, someone's going to lowball you and be like, we'll take you for a 2-year deal, opt out after the first year, $40 million. And he's going to have no choice but to take it. And
Right.
I think that's what the Mets are actually waiting on. And I wouldn't be surprised if and when that happens, then the Mets make some kind of move for a first baseman if they can via trade.
Right.
I'm not saying the Blue Jays are going to give up Vlad because I think they're past that now. They signed they signed Max Scherzer over this past week.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, it's a 1-year deal, nothing crazy, but like it doesn't seem like the plan of the Blue Jays is to then trade Guerrero after you stacked up on all these other things.
I see. And speaking of former Mets, the Yanks signed Carrasco.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I saw that today too. Signed him to a minor league deal. So I guess that's more insurance, which makes it even more likely that the Yankees are trying to trade Marcus Stroman. They also re-signed Tim Hill, which is that lefty that should have came in at the end of the World Series Game 1 where Nasty Nestor came in and gave up a nasty pitch and
Right.
Freeman hit it out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
So we have our lefty, I guess, in the bullpen now. And for kind of cheap, $2.85 million, nothing crazy, with an option for the next year, which is nice and easy. But people are right. People are talking about the Yankees not making any other moves until they could get Stroman's $18 million off the books, which is, kind of unsettling in a way because don't let him hold you back from making another big splash. Like, if you need a bat, go get the bat, and then it's Brian Cashman. Go work out a deal to get rid of somebody, even if it's Stroman or not, to cut a little salary. I don't mind that you're trying to cut some salary. I just don't want you to wait to do it, and then you miss a guy that you wanted for no reason. Because we still need a third baseman or a second baseman. We don't have one.
Right.
Or even maybe a left fielder, depending. I know they want the Martian to be there, but, it's good to have some depth. You don't want to go out there with DJ LeMahieu where you don't know what's happening with this guy. You know what I mean? I mean, the Yankees should have one of the best, if not the best, starting rotation as long as everything works out, and a pretty solid damn bullpen at this point, too. So, I don't know. You're telling me there's nobody that would take Marcus Stroman for like $10 million right now to be their pitcher somewhere?
Right.
Like the Cincinnati Reds have enough pitching. Like they always say, you can't have enough pitching.
Never have enough starting pitching.
Right, which is I think why the Yankees signed Carrasco today, because he's an insurance policy.
Right.
And Aaron Boone is playing the right game for the most part. He's like, oh yeah, like I still see a role for Marcus Stroman. So right now you have 7 starting pitchers. Okay, which honestly I'd rather have that and not need it, and then you could trade him maybe halfway through the season, even before the trade deadline. If someone goes down to another team and they need a pitcher, trade him in June. Right. Who cares? You know what I mean? Especially if your starting rotation is doing all right and you still got Carrasco in the minor leagues and there's no major injuries, knock on wood, then get rid of him then. But add another bat. And I don't know what the hell's going on with Alex Bregman right now. How come nobody wants this guy? He's 30 years old. He's still in his prime. And he's a contact hitter that hits usually for average. And he's a killer in the playoffs. What's going on?
Yeah.
Do you know by any chance if he's another Boris client?
I'm not sure.
I don't know either, but I would say probably the way everything else is going with this guy the last 2 years. I mean, he's been firing and missing so many times. The only thing he hit was the Soto one, but that's it. I feel like that was an easy contract to deal with. You had everyone pinning off each other to just rise the price up. It just took a matter of time. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting excited though. Pitchers and catchers is like literally, I think, like next week, right?
It's got to be soon, yeah.
It's either next Friday or the following Monday. Like the 14th, like some people I think go in the 14th. I mean, obviously people are there already, but then like the official date I think is for most teams is the following week, like that Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, whoop-de-doo, right?
Oh yeah.
We're getting close to baseball. You gonna be going to a lot of Met games this year now that Soto's on
Sure.
the Mets?
Why not?
Why not, right? Hopefully you won't have to pay Yankee ticket prices to go see Soto this year.
I hope not.
I'll tell you what, we're all going to be going to that Yankee Met game, I'm sure, at Citi Field, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be a crazy game to go to. Well, with that being said, I'm kind of done with the sports aspect of things, so let's move along to what we've been watching.
Go ahead.
No, I got a long list of movies. I was just going to say, I was like, I got so many things going. Maybe we'll just go back and forth because I watched so many movies this past week.
Yeah, I didn't really watch a lot. Yeah, I think I just watched one thing. To be honest with you, it was a Tom Green documentary.
Oh, really?
On Prime.
And?
It was good. I liked it. It's not too long. I think it's like an hour and a half or something.
Oh, that's not bad.
But it was enjoyable. It kind of reminded me of that time some years back when he came on the scene on
Right.
MTV.
Yep.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
You still haven't finished Silo yet?
I haven't started the second season.
What else did you start something else that you haven't finished yet? I can't remember.
Yeah. What's it called? American Primeval, is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still only a few episodes into that, and I don't know. I guess I just haven't been in a watching mood lately, and Severance. I only watched the first one, but I think there's only like 3 out right now.
Yeah, I gotta wait for that as well. Like I'm excited for that show to see the second season.
But what have you been watching? Because it seems like you've been getting after it.
Yeah, I got a long list of movies.
All right, let's hear it.
And a couple TV shows. I've been just watching TV all week, it seems like, but I actually have been working.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I've been getting out of work a little earlier, so I have a lot more time to watch TV. So Will Ferrell came out with a new movie. I think it was on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
You're Cordially Invited. It's
okay. It's about a wedding?
Yeah, it's about a wedding. His daughter's getting married, and then Reese Witherspoon's also in there. Her sister's getting married, and they booked the same venue.
Oh, okay.
And all hell breaks loose from there. So it's pretty funny for like a Prime movie, or if it wasn't on Prime, whatever streaming service it was on. It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it. Then I watched another wedding movie with Josh Duhamel and J-Lo for some crazy reason.
Okay.
I would think I was drunk when I was doing it.
All right.
When I was watching it.
Let's put on another wedding movie.
Yeah, it was like back to back, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? It was
wedding
too much.
Double feature.
Yeah, it was too much. But it was a quick, quick watch, whatever. And another. I think it was Prime too. Another just quick movie to just breeze through when you have nothing to watch. I didn't watch Gladiator 2, and I don't know if I ever am going to, because that's like you literally have to have nothing to do to watch it. Like the movie makes no sense from what I'm hearing, and it's all over the place. So if you're looking for me to give you an opinion, it's just don't watch it unless you're sick and you've watched everything that you could possibly watch. Then just turn it on. And if you haven't slept well, you'll probably fall asleep during it. So that's good. And then I started just searching on Prime.
Okay.
And by no means take this with a grain of salt. You know the guy Craig Robinson?
Yeah.
So he made this movie. It's called Rapture Palooza. And another special Prime project.
Okay.
Basically about like the end. Oh, you know what it was like? You know the other movie he was in with
This Is the End?
This Is the End? And it was almost exactly like that, just made for Prime, just a little bit differently.
Right.
But same premise where like the rapture happened and the good people went up and then everyone was left on the planet, and it's like a spoofy kind of movie.
I see.
So it was kind of entertaining and funny at times, and Craig Robinson winds up being like the overall dictator of the planet.
Oh, wow.
And like it's about people trying to like get him out of I guess controlling the world and everything like that. So once again, another one that was kind of entertaining. Then I finally finished Rebel Ridge, which is on Netflix.
What's that?
Action movie about a war hero comes back, tries to get his brother out of jail, and
Oh, I saw that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, that was good, right?
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be good, and I
It's intense.
Yeah, a bunch of times it was intense. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening?
Right.
And I couldn't believe how bad Don Johnson was in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he played a good bad guy.
Yeah.
But he got, obviously, they get it in the end. So that was a really good movie.
Yeah, I like that.
And it wasn't too bad. 2 hours, nice, I broke it up into 2 parts only because I started watching it and I fell asleep. It was like late at night on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked it back up like the next day.
Right.
So it wasn't because the movie was bad, folks, just so we're clear. It was just really late at night and I just couldn't make it. So I shut it off. I said, let me start this back up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The Netflix series with OJ.
What's that?
OJ Simpson. They did like this 4-part like documentary of the trial.
Oh, okay.
And I guess there was new information and whatnot because I don't really remember watching any other documentary.
Mm-hmm.
But they have like the detectives in there, the families. They're talking about everything. They're showing you footage, obviously, and all this evidence and all that stuff. And then not long episodes, like 40-something minutes.
Right.
You could breeze through it. That was really good to watch. And random other movie. It's called The 60-Yard Line.
What's that?
So it's on, I don't know if you have Peacock, but if you have that Fire Stick, you can find it. It's about a huge Packer fan that moves literally next door to Lambeau Field.
Okay.
And he turns his house to like basically like a frat house for Green Bay Packers.
Huh.
And they call it the 60-yard line because he calls his house / his man cave and party house the 60-yard line.
Got it.
And I would assume it's an independent movie. For a low-budget independent movie, it was pretty good.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty entertaining. It was quick. An hour and a half, in and out, you're done.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it. I finished Landman.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting with Lambeau, too, because it's like in the middle of like a town, right?
It is. It legit is. And like all the houses surround it. And like from what I heard before watching this movie is exactly what you see in this movie of like the fans and everything like that. Like they're really friendly. They park on people's front
Right,
lawns.
like people pay to let them.
Yeah, right. So it's a lot of good stuff like that, and there's a lot of home videos of interviews from people. Like I guess they did filming when the Packers were home and everything like that. It was a pretty cool movie, and it's a little bit of a love story in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's basically a loser. He has a dead end job, and it all comes full circle. So that was a good movie,
Nice.
Especially when it came out of nowhere.
Right.
But yeah, that and then like I said, I finished Landman. That was a good ending.
You like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that show. I can't wait for it to come back.
Nice.
But yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote for me. You got any music for us this week?
I got one pick.
One pick again. So now, this is like 4 weeks in a row now. Now I think you're doing it on purpose.
Well, I just
Like you're making my blood boil a little
bit. Similar to the television, I haven't been absorbing as much music as much. So just one pick this week. It's Mike with Showbiz. So that's the pick for this week.
So you haven't been listening to music, but I'm assuming you're going to start because you just went back to the gym. So you got to be listening to music when you go to the gym, no?
No, not when I'm there because I go with my friend, and he also works remote. So, we're just glad to have someone to talk to.
So you guys work out and chat.
Yeah, I think he's thrilled that I'm back just so he has another human to converse with.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Sounds fair. Well, that about does it for our Super Bowl show / the week before the Super Bowl. Everyone enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, enjoy the game. Good luck with your boxes and wagers.
That's right. Let's go Kansas City Chiefs.